Hello guys, and today we have another review and it's on the Eaglepoint. Do keep in mind I wasn't able to film a video this Sunday because it was raining. So yeah, today this review is coming out. But yeah, it's on the Eaglepoint from the Elite 2.0 line. It is a spring-powered bolt-action cylinder-fed blaster. And at the front we have an end-strike barrel lug and a barrel, we'll talk about it later. Above the barrel lug we have like this iron sight, which is decent enough, you can actually use it, line it up with the tactical rail. Here at the top we have this cool scope, we'll talk about that later. Then we have this cylinder which holds 8 rounds and you can freely rotate it. On both sides you can load 2 darts at once, so 4 darts total. Here at the bottom you have this kind of grip which lines up with the barrel, I'll talk about it later. We have this end strike tactical rail, one on the top here. We have a bolt which you can actually unscrew them and get them out. And you prime it by pulling it back. It has a spring release and you have slam fire. Here we also have the trigger, which is a plastic spring, but it is really nice actually. We have this grip, which is a 2-part grip, so the standard one that Nerf puts on Elite 2.0 blasters, but it is actually pretty comfy, and even though it's a whole stock grip, it's actually pretty comfy. Of course we have this stock, which is decently long and it is pretty comfortable. You do not have a cheek rest, but it's not too bad. We have this kind of thing which you can use as a sling attachment point, and it's literally the only one other than on the barrel. Then we have dart storage right here. You can store 4 darts on each side, so 8 darts total. And this is pretty much all about the main blaster, but there is 2 things. First thing is the plastic quality. On this blaster it's actually pretty decent and you can open it. It does have clips, but they're the good kind. You can actually open it up. I did break a few clips, but it's alright, it has a decent amount of screws. The problem with it is I can prime it no problem from this side, but for some reason I can't from this side, which doesn't make sense. And if I put it in my other hand, then I can prime it. Only way I can prime it from this side is if I do it very slowly. As I said, very slow. It doesn't work right now. There. That is really hard. From this side it works completely fine. And that's how you're gonna usually use the blaster, but it just ruins the feel of it. And the thing is, it actually broke a couple of times. Or rather, it didn't break. The actual part you move, not the catch, actually falls down and you cannot place it onto the catch. Thus meaning you have to open it, line it up and everything. And for some reason it happens all over and over again because it's just a very dumb kind of design. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part, it breaks a lot of times. Mine broke a ton of times to the point where some of these screws are getting really spent. Now let's get onto the attachments though. The first attachment is the barrel, which actually looks decent on the blaster, but overall it's just orange. This one is the glossy orange, this one is matte. That's literally the only thing. You do have this tactical rail and a sling attachment point, and you also have this kind of grip thing, which forms this kind of bit. So you can hold it like this, but it's very uncomfy because if you put it like this, which is actually pretty comfortable, you're gonna block the cylinder from rotating. Oh, and the cylinder rotates anti-clockwise, so from this side to this side, and it rotates on trigger pull, although you can rotate it without priming. There. It isn't easy to do, but it does happen time to time if you go too fast. Back to the barrel. It's pretty long and it has this kind of grills, but you can also see it's pretty wide and it's actually hollow. There isn't that standard full barrel like you have on these other blasters. No, it's just the beginning, like this long, and the rest is just hollow. So actually the performance, you don't decrease it with this. And on most blasters it actually looks pretty good. Now to the scope. This is one of my 2 scopes that I have that can go on Nerf blasters, and it's okay. It has these plastic lenses, which I actually prefer plastic, just like this, plastic sights. But they're better than on the Phoenix because they're a bit clearer, and also the little target is actually on this side. The crosshair. The crosshair is on this side instead of this. This also rattles. Not good. And there are no screw holes, so you can't open this up and paint it. It is okay, and it looks kind of an ACOG scope. That was about everything about this blaster. Now before we go to the firing range, I would like for you to subscribe, like, and turn on those notifications. And let's go to the firing range. Okay guys, so we are going to fire the X-Shot waffle head darts. I'm going to, from now on, only fire them. We're going to first fire it standard, flat shots, then some angled, and next we're gonna just slam fire it. Or at least try. Yeah, let's go. Okay, now we are going to slam fire it. Okay, let's get back inside. Okay, so the Eaglepoint shoots standard elite ranges. Around 35 feet with slam fire because your blaster does shake usually towards the ground. And with normal shots, flat, we got around mid 40s, so 45, 46, 44, somewhere around there. And with angled shots, which I shot 3, I miscounted a little bit, I got near 70s, mainly 65s, somewhere around there. As you could see probably, when you slam fire this blaster, it sometimes does not want to rotate, which you could actually see in the firing test. That is not good, but I wouldn't use slam fire in this blaster anyways, and it doesn't happen always. The biggest problem about this blaster is it's breaking, and actually that happened to some other YouTubers, mainly Aaron Esser, because he uses it in gun games, thus he uses it much more than Nerf YouTubers, other actually reviewers, professional Nerf YouTubers. Thus I wouldn't really recommend this, but for $20 it works, you can fix it, and potentially you can actually mod it. So technically it's not a bad choice. Just the commander does most of the job. You can actually put attachments on the commander. It has the same functionality, just it doesn't break. And it is $10 or 15 instead of 20 to 30 that they asked for. So overall I do like this blaster, but the fact that it broke multiple times on me, just I cannot really recommend this. In my scale, this would be a C minus. It's a good blaster, but I wouldn't recommend it. You just heard me say C minus. I might actually start rating blasters on that. F is do not buy, it will break. E is it will break later, or at least has a chance of breaking. D is going to be it's not gonna break, but it's an awful blaster. C is an okay blaster, no break, but it doesn't have many reasons to buy it. B is going to be it's a good blaster, and if you have the money for it, you can actually buy it. A is it's a really good blaster, and you should buy it, but not if you have something similar to it. And S is going to be you should buy it no matter what, other than if you absolutely hate it. Like, the Moto Blitz is absolutely amazing. All the problems it has, I caused them. Yeah, the Moto Blitz is just good. So overall, it's a good blaster. If you want it for looks, paint it, for example. Because it looks like a DMR. And this is what annoys me. Most people are saying that it is a bolt action 8-round revolver. But it's not a revolver. A revolver is a gun that revolves around. It revolves the bullets, or in this case darts, to shoot them. Yes, that makes it a revolver, but that doesn't mean they weren't like rifles that use cylinders. They're cylinder fed sniper or DMR. So yeah, if you have money for it, you can buy it, but you shouldn't. Anyways, my name is Nixie, and before we go, I want to ask you, what blaster would you want me to review next? I have a few. We can review the Recon Mark II. I reviewed it. It was actually my first review here, but it wasn't really good. We can review the Echo. We can also review the bow. I have this bow right here. It's pretty plain, but I can review it. Oh, and don't mind, that's actually my monitor. I hope it doesn't change too much, the format. But yeah. And I have, I think, some others, like the Action Meteor, which I didn't have a really good review back then. Especially since I can now actually do a range test. But yeah. And the Fortnite 6 SH, the Action Axis, a few other blasters. I might review other blasters like the Double Punch Moto Blitz way later when I get a microphone. I will get the microphone in at least a month, but I will review most other blasters before it. Although making three videos about the same blaster sounds a bit bad, reusable, but I gotta work with what I have. Anyways, this is getting a bit long, so yeah. My name is Nixie, and bye bye.